There he is. Can you hear us now, Ralph? And the spotlight.
And the spotlight. Yeah, we got to do the spotlight. I don't know how to do that. Oh, and the glare is lovely. Wow. Let me try something here. I guess that's a little better. So, okay, so today we will attempt to do an offset bowl of some mahogany. The cameras here. So I've got a blank of mahogany that's about 13.5 inches by about 2 inches at the smaller dimension. So we'll see what we can do with that. So the way I start these is I do these on a screw chuck to get started. So I'll drill a couple of holes. We're getting drill bits. So what we're going to do, we're going to drill a hole in the center, and then we will drill another hole off center. Okay. I'm going to offset this about 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to use a screw chuck with the spacer washer on it that you've seen before. Because this blank is not real thick, I'll drill kind of a shallow hole. Otherwise, we might end up going through the bottom.
So why the spacer washer, Ralph?
That's so that the screw doesn't go in as far. Okay, we don't have a real thick blank here. So if I drill the hole deep to where the screw went all the way in, doesn't leave me a lot of material to form the shape of the bottom of the bowl. So by using this spacer, okay, it doesn't go in as far. So I've got more material on the bottom to work with. Okay, I did this, I forget which demo it was, where I showed you about making these and using these spacers. You can make them different thicknesses for different, different projects. So, and as always, you want to get that groove in the proper position on your chuck. run that spacer back up where that spacer fits tight against the face of the jaws. We'll put a little wax on the threads. And one of the nice things about having a variable speed lathe with a really low speed is you can turn the thing on at a low speed and just pick up your workpiece and pop it on there. Let it go. Then we're going to bring up the tailstock, of course, for support. See how close I got to the center. Damn. I actually had a center mark on it, this side of the wood, which I didn't use to drill my holes because this side, as you can see, is way out of whack. So, but I got it within a 1/16 of an inch of being dead center. So I guess I got lucky on that one. So what we're going to do here, we've got our blank mounted on our center hole, which we're going to form the actual bottom shape of the bowl on center. Get our safety gear on, dust mask and eye protection. We're going to spin this up about a little over 300. Get started. I want to start with a 5/8 bowl gouge. I guess we'll switch cameras. That one's wiggling a little bit. Oh, and don't do that. didn't do a very good job when I cut this with a chainsaw. So that's why we got to spend a little extra time here cleaning it, straightening it up. So the better preparation you do with a chainsaw, the less time you waste turning excess wood away, obviously. Like we got a ways to go on this outside. Yeah. Almost. All right, getting close. Okay, so. Now what we're going to do is form a little tenon here on the bottom in the center. We've got to face the front off, get it leveled out. And we need it centered. So what I'll do is I'm going to come in here with a parting tool. Okay.
Ralph, I have a question.
Yes.
I mean, this is a little different than I've tried, and maybe it's just a different way of doing it. But did you make your mortise yet? Is that the mortise? Isn't the mortise the first thing you made?
I've got a tenon here. It's a mortise and a tenon. Okay, but this is a tenon just to grab the center.
Right, I understand it. Where's the mortise? Did you put the mortise in? I missed that.
No, I haven't done that yet.
Okay, I'll just say, and you tell me I'm wrong, that's fine. The mortise is usually when the bowl is centered, and the tenon is the offset.
Well,
but that's okay. This is different then. You know what I mean?
Well, I always did it the opposite.
Okay. Maybe that's because you're left-handed. Maybe that's you're left-handed. That's why.
Oh, is that what it is?
Probably, but no, this is fine. No, I just all the ones I've seen and done is that the mortise first and then the tenon inside the mortise, but that's fine.
Okay, well, that's one way to do it. I guess it also depends on the size of the bowl.
That's true. Okay's in the background saying, if it works, do it. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So now what I'm going to do is change the hole. Oh, look at that. Okay. My washer broke when I got that little snag that you didn't see. So may have to make this a little deeper. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, so now we'll drill the hole to make a mortise. Went way too deep. Okay, so. All right.
Is that enough tenon for the jaws to grab?
Well, we may have to actually use this outside mortise instead.
Just decomposed.
Now, I don't know if we can get this thing to go back on center. No. Okay. We might have a funnel here in a minute. This is how not to do this. Oh yeah, she's nice and wiggly there. Oh, that really isn't going to affect us because we're just going to be facing off the front anyway. So. So we're just going to grab it by this outside mortise to just face the front off, and then we'll move it to the offset and make the actual bowl. That's all right. I'll go ahead and put the cone on here since we got a big hole in there. Okay, so. So of course, because this is a demo piece, we're not doing any sanding or finishing. But before you turn this around, you know, you wanted to sand off the bottom, get it cleaned up. So now what we're going to do, we're going to move to the offset position to actually make the bowl here. So what I did is I grabbed it, expanded into this outside mortise to face this off centered. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab it on this little mortise on the inside for the offset. Okay. Well, that's not good. And another thing on how not to do this. Okay. You can see that I didn't get this flat in here when I drilled that hole. So I got a hump here, which is really screwing me up. So what we will do is we will turn this around and clean that up. Extra step we really didn't plan on taking. All right. This is called no planning. And winging it. See what's going to happen here. I'm going to use a center for a little bit just to make sure we're not going to go flying, hopefully. I didn't do a very good job on the bottom on this one. So this is a demonstration on what not to do. How not to do this. Like we got a, I don't know if that's a bug hole or just a natural beauty mark of the wood. We'll take a little bit past that.
Ralph, what are you doing to check your depth?
Nothing, actually. I'm just kind of knowing that that's about where I'm at. You know, I didn't measure the bottom. I actually cut the bottom too deep. So, you know, like I said, this is a perfect example of how not to do this. You know, we might be able to pull it off anyway. I'm actually going to not go much deeper. I'm just going to try and clean this up a little bit and get this center out. And, but you guys get the general idea. Let me take it's time to sharpen the tool. So I'm just going to pick up another tool that I think is sharp and make a couple of cuts here and then get that hump out of the middle. I'm just nibbling away at that bottom now. Of course, get your live center out of the way. So, you know, jam it into your elbow. Drop that tool wrench just a little bit more. You can measure this with calipers, of course. So we've got 3/4 of an inch there, but that mortise goes up in there a bit. So I really wouldn't go any further. You know, you can clean this up. I didn't get a real great cut with the gouge. Clean this up with a scraper. So that's the basic idea of how to do and partially not how to do an offset bowl. You know, obviously you can go bigger with this. You can run it all the way out to, you know, whatever looks visually pleasing. You know, something like this, you could leave the rim wide, go back to, put it back on center, and put some kind of decoration around here with a texturing tool or something. Put some line, you know, do some burning, you know, variety of things you can do with it. But basically that's an offset bowl. So, and to clean the bottom out, of course, there's a couple of ways to do that. One would be with a vacuum chuck. You can get it in here centered. Another way would be to put it on a cold jaws or a longworth chuck, grab it by the outside, and, you know, clean up the bottom here. So, like I said, I went way too deep with this. Wasn't paying attention when I was drilling this. I went way too deep. And like Dave said, you can turn a bigger mortise, turn a tenon inside that, do a tenon with a tenon within a mortise, or two mortises, one within the other. And, you know, depending on the diameter, the overall diameter is gonna kind of dictate how much offset you use. I just eyeballed it, but basically a 3/4 inch offset. You know, you can go a little bit less, you can go a little more. The further you go, the more out of balance the piece is. I have done this as a demo over at the school on my small little jet mini lathe. So it can be done. Gets a little hairy with a little bitty lightweight lathe, throwing something out of balance, swinging it around, but it can be done. Much easier on a big heavy machine. So that's basically it.
Thank you.
So now you have something else to play with.
Thank you, Ralph.
You're welcome.
Very good, very good.
So, any questions?
When time permits, I've got an unrelated question.
Oh, not related to what?
Not related to this offset turning.
Okay.
Sharpening is the topic.
Okay.
Has anybody got any ideas on how to capture or how to deal with sharpening dust?
Magnet.
Magnets, yes.
Say again?
Magnet. A magnet.
Okay.
Now, that's only going to pick up the steel that's coming off. It's not going to pick up. Now, what kind of wheel are you using?
Well, very early on, I bought one of those Sorby sanders like Joe Self has.
Okay.
So that's what I've got now, and I really got a mess. And, you know, I got half a garage is where I am, and so I don't want that dirt and dust and the other, you know, tracking through into the house. So I'm trying to figure out how to deal with that.
Shop vac.
Yeah, okay.
A dedicated shop vac just for the sander grinder. You don't want to be mixing any wood chips in there. Not that anything would happen, but you know, they tell you it's not a good idea to use a vacuum cleaner full of wood chips and then try and pick up metal grindings and possible sparks.
Okay, and why is that, Ralph?
Well, for fire reasons, you've got, you know.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah. You know, not that anything would happen, but you know, it's better to, you know, throw a little extra safety there. Yeah, a lot of guys will put I've seen grinders, and actually they make grinders on the high end, more expensive equipment, you know, used in industrial settings where they have an actual vacuum port on a regular grinder, where they have a dust collection system sucking up that, you know, because if you're using stone wheels, and I imagine even with the Sorby belts, you may be getting some debris coming off the belt.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Not, you know, it's dirty.
Yes.
You know, I mean, wood shavings and sawdust is clean dirty. You know, metal shavings and filings and what have you it's clean dirty, but it's dirty. It's, you know, it turns everything black and gray and
exactly. Yeah.
Gritty and crappy and
yep.
So.
I have one of those Sorby belts, and I use magnets at the base and at the top. It really collects a lot of that the shavings or the dust. Really,
okay.
Does a really good job of it.
Really?
Yeah.
And how do you fix it? I'd like to see a picture of that.
Okay. Well, the magnet just sticks to the bottom, and then the filings, as they're flying off, they stick to the magnet.
Right.
And then every once
the magnet
in a while,
sticks to the bottom of the base. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then every once in a while, when it's full of fur, I scrape it off and put it in a baggie and throw it away.
And that captures pretty much all of it. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I use several magnets, you know, one at the bottom and at the top, and you know, the rare earth magnets. They do a real good job. Collects lots of stuff.
Actually, I've heard of people, Brian, putting the magnet inside of a baggie.
Yeah.
And that way the stuff don't get stuck to the magnet itself.
Yeah.
Does okay, I like that.
I always forget the baggie though. So yeah, that works too. I don't grab it with my hands. I use a paper towel to scrape it, pull it off, put it in a bag, because it sticks to your hands pretty good after.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it works really well.
I'll give it a shot. Thank you. That has possibilities. I like that.
So any more questions? Any questions on what we did today?
Very informative for me.
Well, it's just another type of turning, just something else that's kind of, I think, is interesting to do something a little different than just straight bowls. You know, I know with a lot of these demos lately in the past year, I've been doing a lot of spindle work. And I thought I'd get back to doing some actual bowl turning. And, you know, this is something that it's interesting to look at. It's not that difficult if you think about it and do it correctly. Do a little better planning than I did this morning. I just was winging it. But you know, there's videos on it on YouTube, which I'll share. And you know, I'm trying to remember now. I've only made maybe 2 or 3 of these, and I've probably only finished 1 out of the 2 or 3 that I've made. And you get a lot of people picking it up and looking at it, but maybe someday the right person will come along and buy it. You never know. And that's another thing, you know, when we're talking about selling stuff, when I first started doing this, I used to date all my pieces. And somebody told me, don't put dates on your pieces. Because if it doesn't sell after 2 or 3 years, people look it up, pick it up, look at the date, see, oh, he's had this for 5 years. This must not be any good. And they put it back down and don't buy it. So
They want to pay a lot less money for it.
yeah, exactly. This is old new stock. So, you know, if you want to keep track of your work, figure out some kind of code, and you know, you'll have to, you know, obviously make a notebook or some type of folder in a computer to log your pieces if you're that interested in keeping track of them. You know, just a note on dating stuff. So I quit doing it quite some years ago. So.
Yeah, can you flip that over right there, Ralph, the bottom?
Yeah, let me light that up for you.
Okay. You're not centered, but yeah, I like that idea of 2 mortises. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, I think it works a little bit better. You know, like I said, I definitely screwed up. I made this one too deep.
Right.
And didn't get this smooth. I wasn't thinking ahead enough, you know, because then it comes back to bite you. And what I would do is as you can see, I sort of established a ring out here. And what I would do, if obviously this is very deep, make these a lot shallower, and then come back and reverse this and clean it up, you know, and disappear all of that to where you have a nice finished bottom.
Yeah.
So that's actually sometimes more work than making the whole piece is finishing the bottom properly. So this is, of course, this is a piece of side grain mahogany. You know, I've done these end grain. You can do them either way. You know, I was explaining to Paula the other day that cutting end grain is a little more difficult, and depending on the cut, and it's, you know, it's harder on the tools. You got to sharpen more often when you're cutting end grain. You know, same thing when you're cutting it up with a chainsaw. You know, when you want to split a log, you want to lay that log down sideways and cut it lengthways instead of standing it on end and cutting it like this. If this was the log standing up, you don't want to be cutting across here because you're just, you know, dulling your chain up real quick. So, you know, cutting end grain with your turning tools is the same thing. Cutting into and across end grain dulls your tools a lot quicker, but of course, depending on the shape of the bowl, you have to do it. So. Anybody got anything else? Anything they want to show anybody? Any work they've been working on?
Yeah, I've got something here. If I can, that piece I was talking about, the pink iPay.
Yeah.
ePay.
iPay.
What it
ePay.
is? Yeah, ePay.
Tababuya. Pink purple Tababuya.
Yeah, it's not completed yet, but this is the piece of ePay from 2017. It really turned out nice. I'm going to make it into Ikebana. The reason I didn't finish it is I've got the Ikebana here, but the nails are a little too long. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm cutting down the nails. I had a piece I tried doing it. I want to take it down just a hair more so you get a little more water. But this is, again, I use I like it here. It's got some nice grain patterns in there. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see it. Right there. But it's, I've been going with 50%, 50-50 sanding sealer and lacquer, sanding sealer and lacquer is what I've been using, just to put that on first, just to seal it up, and using the Yorkshire grit, and then wax after that. And the nice thing about this dry wood is that you can finish it in a day. You don't have to let it sit and dry. You know, if you put poly on it or whatever the case is, you usually wait a couple hours or get back to it the next day, you know, depending. So I like that, using that wax. Of course, Ralph's been using it for a while. That min wax from, they have it at Lowe's.
Yeah, paste wax.
Base wax, that's furniture polish.
Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, min wax brand for paste wax.
Yep. Works good.
I got a vase here.
Let's see.
That one. Can you see
The
that
rest
one?
of it.
Yeah.
Rest of it. I don't know.
Oh, okay, there it is.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Playing with miniatures.
Yeah, a little vase. So.
Good catch.
Yeah. And of course, you know, the eggs doing the eggs. So this
is that a box?
No, it's an egg.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying I see a ring around there.
Yeah. Well, it'd be like laminations. So
Okay.
there we go. I think that's 11 laminations. Various scrap wood that I've been doing. So, and see, there's one with a few. Getting close to egg size. Yeah. Egg shape. Yeah. And there's a one of crab wood.
Oyster wood.
Yeah. So that's
nice.
pretty cool. So that's how I've been doing. Working on my eggs.
Working on your eggs.
Where you get the laminate? Where are you buying that? Oh,
it's just scrap wood from around the shop, you know, like oak and pine and walnut and that sort of. But also at Ace, Shell Lumber, they had some laminates or small pieces. You know, I guess they're like 3 feet by 3 inches. So then I can chop them up to put them in between the other thicker pieces of scrap wood that I have. So
we've also got those samples of woods over there at Shell. Those small pieces. I think they're like 6 by 6 by 3/4 thick.
Yeah, I went there not too long ago, and you're talking about they had an area called the Exotic Wood, and they had all these 6 by 6 like pigeonholed.
Yeah.
They're not there anymore.
Yeah.
I think they moved them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just have a few left. I was there a week ago. And they had moved it to another spot and have a whole lot less.
Oh, really?
And in the exotics space in the back, it's all like doors and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they moved the exotics over towards the workshop.
Yeah, they have some slabs over there.
Right, they got some slabs, but if you actually, that's where I've picked up, sometimes in there they have, in the zebra wood or in the aromatic cedar, they'll have a 1 by 12 3/4 or something like that. And I'll use that. I'll buy a long piece of that for pen blanks and use that instead of buying pen blanks at $1, $2, or $3 from the shops.
Yeah.
Good. I'll have to check it out next time. Good.
Maybe the people from Home Depot got a hold of them. You know how they like to move stuff at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go there 1 week and everything's right where you know where it is, and you go in a week or 2 later and they change the whole damn store layout.
Yep.
That makes you wonder.
It's another excuse for me to go back there. Thanks, Brian.
There you go. Well, I mean, don't really need an excuse, do you?
Well, I used to go there to get popcorn, but I doubt if they have that anymore with COVID.
Nope.
I'm sure they don't. Yeah. Free coffee and free popcorn.
Huh.
Even check your temperature going into the store.
That's right. Yeah.
Instead of popcorn, you get a temperature check.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're making the popcorn. I know the popcorn machine, they moved it back to where the garden section.
Yeah, it was. That's where it was at last. I didn't check this last time. Yeah.
I guess you can make your own laminates veneers if you can do some resawing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
but you know what? They're not around anymore. But Pearls used to carry sheets of all different types of wood that were maybe 1/8 of an inch thick or less.
yeah, I was in Blix
Yeah.
2 days ago, and they have a wide variety of wood like that, mainly basswood and a little bit of walnut or mahogany, but very little of that, but a whole lot of different shapes of basswood, thicknesses and widths.
That's the one by South Miami Hospital. Is that the one?
Yes, that one.
All right. My next stop.
Yeah, I picked up some gold paint there. It's really good.
I use their Indian ink for.
Yeah, that's good too there.
Yeah, use that instead of the vinegar and steel wool.
That's because Indian ink is permanent. It dries quickly, has shellac in it, so a lot of good properties to Indian ink, and it's a real good black.
Yep. You know, I'm going off track here, but I still belong to this pen club up in West Palm. But anyways, they're really avid fountain pen people and collectors of old pens, fountain pens, whatever. So I brought some of that. They exchange ink at their meetings. So when they had the meetings, I brought some of that Blix ink there. And they said, no, we don't use that. Don't use that. It'll clog up the pens. It's bad. So they don't use that for their expensive fountain pens.
Because it dries quickly, I guess.
Yeah, could be. Yep.
Good for writing, though, if you're write fast enough.
Yeah. Dave, you said they collect old pens, did you say?
Yes, mostly fountain pens. Well, the first time I met them, the guy came up to me and said, look, here's a 1946 Parker T-ball jotter. It's the first time they came out with it, and I've got one. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been to, I don't know, a lot of you have, but there used to be a Miami pen show, the convention center right there. It's close to where Squadron 94 is, the restaurant there off of Milam Dairy and the Expressway. But that's where I first ran into those folks. You know, they're collectors of pens, mostly fountain pens.
I've got an old Esterbrook fountain pen that's about 60 years old, and I would kind of like to put that in somebody's hand that appreciated it, rather than throw it out when I go.
Well, send me a picture of it, and I'll send it to them. Send it to some of them. See if they maybe you'll get some money out of it, Bob.
Well, maybe, yeah. I think it's a collector, yeah.
Minus 10%, but yeah, okay.
And then you can buy some magnets to put by your grinder.
There you go. And look for plastic bag donations. I like that idea.
Well, maybe David Sigley and myself may have some extra bags from our pen kits, but not that that'd really be the way to go, right?
I'll trade you some paint blanks, some pen blanks, or some plastic bags.
There you go. Yeah.
So, anything else?
Nope.
Well, then I'm going to shut this thing down.
All right.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
We will see you all.
Thanks, Ralph.
Take care.
Ralph, thank you. Hello, Jack, and hello, Waldo.
Welcome.
Nobody said
Hey,
hello
Waldo.
to you.
Hey, Jack.
Hi, Waldo.
Quiet over there.
Hey, Waldo.
Waldo's gone. Where's Waldo?
Okay, yeah, we've been watching you.
Yep.
Okay.
You can stop by for a little too.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. We'll see y'all.
Thanks, Ralph.
Welcome. Thank you, everybody, for showing up.